day 5 of Cows Week. A long delay. It has been a long postponement, but we're hoping for some starts soon here at the Royal Yacht Squadron and also out at various committee boats. It's been a very, no breeze at all really, and still quite fluky here at Cowes, but there is more breeze out there on the water, so the race officers aiming to get that underway. Simon Viger here at the Royal Yacht Squadron, and out on the B&G commentary boat, Matt Sheehan. Matt, what conditions have you got there?
Well, we've got steady 5 knots of breeze, which has been 5 knots for some time now, actually just off Cowes Roads, and the direction's around 100, so 095 to 100, so basically easterly, and it's been like that for a while now, and it's looking fairly steady at the moment.
Hopefully the first starters here will be for IRC 0 and IRC 1 together at 10 minutes past 2. So under half an hour until that first starter here on the squadron line. Then starts sometimes every 5 minutes, well, sometimes every 10 minutes, right through until the Solent Sunbeams at 15:45. We've been speaking about the committee vessels and the White Group committee boat starters over in the vicinity of HambleWinterSeries.com, with racing on the plateau in the Solent there, and finishing at Rorke, so not finishing here in Cowes but finishing at the Rorke mark, because it would just be too difficult to get over to this line as the finish. And all the White Group classes, whether they start on a committee boat or not, will finish at Rorke. So that's White Group covered. More Black Group boats coming out of the Medina, motoring out for their committee vessel starts, and also the starts on the squadron line at 10 minutes past 2. That's the plan. And hopefully they will all get away.
Yes, just a reminder as where Rorke is. That's just off the western tip, or just below the western tip of the Bramble Bank. So just north of South Bramble, if that makes sense. So mid-Solent, really, where we were yesterday.
Yeah, that's where all the White Group finishes will be. Whether they've started here at the squadron or started on the committee boat, that's where they will be finishing. So hopefully first start in just over 20 minutes time, as more and more boats come out from Cowes now. We've got the Squibs and the XODs sailing off towards their committee boat start. We've seen the Victories go. And just to recap, those starting on committee boats for White Group: the Seaview Mermaids, the Victories, the Squibs and the XODs. And that's over at HambleWinterSeries.com for their starts. Racing over there on the plateau and finishing at all of White Group finishing at Rorke. The conditions here in the Solent right now, well, we've got the big white fluffy clouds, we've got a bit of breeze just animating the white ensign of the Royal Yacht Squadron. The postponement pennant is a little bit slack. I'd like to see them flying a bit more than that, but we will see what racing we can get underway at 10 minutes past 2 with the big boats in IRC 0 and 1 racing for the Britannia Cup and the Viella Trophy. And whereabouts are you at the moment, Matt?
Just off the squadron, actually, and I was just about to ask you, I suppose it's still too early to know where the course might go for the Britannia Cup, because that's obviously one of the big trophies at Cowes Week.
It certainly is.
And that's for, so Britannia Cup will be for IRC 0 and 1, and
yeah, they looks like they're heading off to North Ryde Middle first of all.
Okay.
And then we'll have that course confirmation soon here on Cowes Live. Laurence Mead, the regatta director, rejoins us here on 87.9 FM. And Laurence, well, the aim to get racing underway just after 2 o'clock.
Yes, that is the plan. I look upwind to the east and my heart either rises slightly or falls slightly, depending on whether we're in a gust or a lull. Fingers crossed. I mean, all we can do is try. Most of the races will finish to the east as well today. So if that southwesterly comes back later, which inevitably will, hopefully we'll have the racing done in the east and everybody finished before that. But you know, let's try. There is the odd gust coming through. Again, it's building on my shoulder at the moment. So moderately optimistic.
Good. Well, that's always a good situation to be in. Now, do you happen to know off the top of your head? I think all the white group are finishing at a committee boat. They're not finishing here at the squadron.
No, that we're going to finish them at Rorke, the Rorke mark over by the bank, just to give them an easier time to try and get back later on in the day. So we'll finish them up tide and upwind, and hopefully then it'll be easier for them to get back. Coming back to the squadron line is just basically too difficult today, so it's very disappointing we won't have any finishes here, but one can only do what one can do in the circumstances, I'm afraid.
And committee boat starters, quite a few white group classes starting on a committee boat, which is over in the vicinity of Hamble Winter Series, I think.
Yep. That is the Squibs, the XODs, and I can't remember the other two classes.
Mermaids and Victories.
Mermaids and Victories, yeah, that sounds right. And hopefully, if we're lucky and the breeze holds, it'll be a couple of races for the Squibs and the XODs to make up for yesterday's disappointment with them, for them. Yeah, the breeze is building a little bit, you know, let's be optimistic here. The sun is shining, that's the good news. Sometimes we're standing here in the pouring rain, and tomorrow we will be doing such a thing. But for now, the sun is shining. Everyone on the beach is enjoying ice creams, and there's a little bit of a southeasterly breeze. Should be a beautiful day for a little sail around.
Great stuff, Laurence. Thanks very much indeed. Laurence Mead there, the regatta director of Cowes Week. We've, in the time of the postponement, we've been able to hear from lots of the competitors, and let's keep doing that before we get on with the starts here at Cowes Week. And let's hear from Pip Hare, Lionel Ross and Daniela Musabi.
I was actually approached by the crew from the Greg City Academy to join them and have a chat with them actually on Women's Day, but I asked if I could come sailing instead, which was a bit cheeky. One of the hardest things for me about getting into sailing was finding opportunities. With offshore sailing in particular, it's about 5% participation by women. It's really difficult to find opportunities, it's difficult to grow your confidence, and I think, you know, this team, this scheme, this opportunity that these young women have is incredible. So if I can come and help a little bit, then that's brilliant. I'm expecting to be bossed around. I am literally just coming on board as crew, and I just really would like to see everyone in action. You know, if I can give some hints and tips to help, great. If they just want me to be heavy and sit on the rail, I'll do that. It's all sailing and I love it.
I can't wait to actually have the experience as a whole. Coming from my background, I don't usually see opportunities like this, and just to be with the Pip Hare, like, it's an amazing thing. I'm honoured. I can't wait to learn new skills and enjoy my time with my friends.
Well, I'm hoping to get a few key tips from Pip Hare, because I did follow you in the Vendée Globe, and I did get a bit excited when I heard you were coming onto our boat, and hopefully I can make my skills a bit better, and I can maybe see a future in sailing. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm seriously looking forward to sailing with you.
We look forward to it as well.
It's going to be good.
Thank you.
And it was Daniela there on Scaramouche and the Greg City Academy, the Scaramouche Sailing Trust, the official charity of Cowes Week. Great to hear from them. Right, it's now approaching 5 minutes to 2. We hope we're going to get the first start at 10 past 2 here on day 5 of the regatta. Gladiator just powering past the squadron now, and a car transporter in the distance, but it's the black hull of Gladiator with the Union Jack on just passing the squadron. Simon Viger here at the Royal Yacht Squadron with our exclusive commentary position, and Matt Sheehan out on the B&G commentary boat. Whereabouts are you now, Matt?
Just off towards the outer end of the line, actually, just off the squadron. Just surprising how many people have been, good news that so many people have been listening to the radio, because I've had quite a few come along and say, oh, I'll tell you the rest of that story about X, Y and Z later on, so looks like I've got a busy evening.
That's why we need the microphone with a stick. Microphone on a stick.
Yes, we have got... Oh, don't.
Okay,
Don't.
fine. We won't. Now, yesterday was Women's Day at Cows Week, and we sent a crowd to talk to all the women sailors, or lots of the women sailors taking part, and there are, this year, more than ever.
I think it's really good to represent women in sailing. Like, we really enjoy sailing together, and there's not enough of it at the moment. So having a big push on it is great for women in sport.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see so many girls getting out on the water, and we hope just we can increase the numbers and get more people involved.
Well, we are the female part of the crew for Rogue and Josh this week. For Cows Week, we're pretty much the whole crew. Yeah. There are some men, but we're not really sure what they do, so it's just us on board.
Yeah, this is our first time sailing all together. We've sailed together a bit. We've sailed together. We sailed with the boys as well, but it's our first time as a 5. There's definitely more women in sailing now, though. Like we're seeing it being pushed more and promoted more, especially towards the top, which is good stuff.
It's quite satisfying, isn't it? That on Saturday was the first time we stepped in the J70 and went racing, and we were fine.
Yeah. Got a second place finish. Yeah, not bad.
I'm sailing on Cobra this week, and yeah, we started off the week really well. We got 2 bullets in the first 2 days, and then got a third today. It's just a bit trickier in the light stuff, but no, it's been going well. I'm having a fun week, and yeah, hopefully it continues, but we'll see how it goes.
So being on an all-girls boat is pretty fun. I think a lot of people think that it's different to racing normally, but we all take it quite seriously and we're very competitive. So it does we get quite feisty, but it is really good fun. And I think we all know like what each other's strengths are, so we can help each other out with different jobs, which is really useful. Yeah, go on.
We didn't really choose to have it all girls. But because I have 4 older sisters, so it's quite easy finding all girls crew to get together. Yeah.
And Dad didn't want to come, so it was really good. It was great because it was quite easy, and we had quite a lot of people sail past us and be like, "Oh, all girls boat," but actually, it's when we beat them. It's quite funny.
From the female sailors on Women's Day here at Cows Week. Women's Day was yesterday, but lots of them in the various classes doing fantastically well, and it's one of the great things about sailing, about the equality there is out there on the water, and proper competition as well. Right, we are just over 10 minutes away from our first start, and the big boats are hoisting their big sails, Matt.
They certainly are, yes, and they're coming by the outer end of the line, and they're pinging it, as in they are loading it into their computers. And they're also, quite rightly and understandably, looking at where the transit is. So on the squadron above you, there are 2 masts with 2 sets of lights on them. And to find the line, the start line, you wait until the lights get in line and the bottom set go out. When they go out, you're on the line. So all these boats that are out at my end of the line, out by the outer end, are just motoring up against the tide and just figuring out exactly where the line is, because the yellow marker at the end only indicates the outer end of the line in terms of distance away from the squadron. It's not the actual position of it. So it's really important to, especially on a light weather day when you really don't want, clear air is absolutely everything. You do not want someone else sitting on your breeze at the start, so you need to know just how close you can go to that line. And I'm doing the same thing as them right now and looking at it, and the light's just about to go out just about now, and that is about, I'd say, well, it's a boat length, so it's about 10 meters. So the pin end of the line, so the yellow inflatable buoy, is actually around 10 to 12 meters behind the line, so you can actually afford to go ahead of that mark, but only by about 10 metres if you're out at this end.
It is Youth Day today on the Wednesday of Cows Week, and we've been out speaking to the young sailors of Cows. There are plenty of them on Youth Day. Let's hear from some of them now. Fortunately, we can't hear from them. Oh, we can.
I started in Oppies and then went to 420s, and I just got into yacht racing last August. So I'm doing a bit of inshore and then offshore stuff as well.
I actually started at uni, and I've just been a casual sailor, and I've somehow wangled my way onto some extras for some sailing, and we came second today, so that's all right.
We are actually a relatively young crew. John's a particularly young owner. He's done well for himself. So I'm 21. Fraser we sail with, he's 25, and Ellie only 19. So that's really good fun, and we get to go and fight it out with all these old grizzled professional sailors, which is good fun, and it gets you involved in a class that you wouldn't normally be in. So it's great.
I grew up sailing on the River Devon in cadets, and then I moved on to 420s and then bigger boats. But I just graduated from Exeter Uni, where I used to sail as well. We're parts of the Youth Academy here.
I learned to sail on Grafton Water in dinghies, and then I really got into the racing at uni, doing team racing and things like that. And then I did the British Keelboat Academy a few years ago, and that was how I sort of made the contacts to move into Etrels, which I've been really enjoying for the last couple of years.
I kind of grew up to sail actually, just around the corner at Gurnard in my local sailing club. Did all the dinghy stuff there, all the lasers on national circuits, and then moved into big boat racing.
Yeah, my name's Bobby. I learned to sail on a small lake up north called Lean Lowton. We did youth sailing, like 29ers, some NACRA sailing, and now just joined Telling some big boat stuff. And we did a bit of match racing. We're going out to the States in a few weeks to do an event there. It's great fun. The J70 is really good class, and it's cool to sail against adults, because they put some time into it and they know what they're doing, so it's good fun.
I do appreciate the older generation in the fleet though, because they're so knowledgeable, and the majority of them are happy to help if you have any questions as well. So it's a really nice vibe that it's got going on.
We can probably hack the hangovers a bit more as well than the older ones.
Well, we say that.
We've all done a lot of sailing since we were quite young, so we've done yacht racing since probably about the age of 8, would you say?
Yeah.
And we have a really good programme at Poole Yacht Club that gets young youth sailors racing in the Commodore's Challenge. It's fun sailing with a variety of ages, but the challenge of being youth is like making your own decisions rather than having someone else tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely right, and why not? Lots of youth sailing taking part. The trophies in association with Musto here at Cowsweek, and you can hear the race officer from the Royal Yacht Squadron saying 1 minute until the removal of AP, so we're going for a first start at 10 minutes past 2, just over 6 minutes away. And so this will be one gun, will be a gun to bring down AP, the Postponement, and then we will get into the start sequence with the warning signal for IRC 0 and IRC 1 starting at 10 past 2, and their class flags will be flying from the squadron. Yes, in class 2 they're due to start. They will be the second starters on the squadron line. Doing very well again in Class 2. They're getting ready for their start, but this is the end of the Postponement. And that is the gun, and down comes AP. AP is removed, and that next up we will get the warning signal for IRC 0 and IRC 1. So everybody will synchronise their countdown stopwatches, including me, so that we know that 5 minute start sequence is underway, and then Matt, I'll be able to give you a course confirmation of IRC 1 and IRC 0. In fact, I'll have to check later on if it's exactly the same for both of them. We've got 4 competing in IRC 0.
I think it would have to be, because they're for the Britannia
They
Cup.
are both for the Britannia Cup, aren't they? So
yeah.
IRC 1 has got 6 marks detailed, and IRC 0 has got 6. So here we go. Here's the countdown for the warning signal. and their class flags now fly from the flagstaff here. Here's course confirmation for IRC 0 and IRC 1. North Ride Middle, starboard. Quor, port. East Bramble, starboard. Kemp's Quay, port. Royal Yacht Squadron, port, line. And it is the squadron line for their finish, and that is predicted at 4:45 for IRC 0 and IRC 1. So North Ride Middle first of all, Matt, then Quor.
Quor, I'm just trying to see where that is.
Is beyond Peel Bank. It's south of Mother Bank.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
On the way to Ryde Sands.
Okay, so Quor, and then where did you say?
And then it's
that?
East Bramble.
Yep.
And then Kemp's Quay.
East Bramble, Kemp's Quay. Okay. Oh yes, out near Ryde. Yeah, just off Ryde Sands.
And then it's Royal Yacht Squadron, which is up near Gosport.
Yeah, Leon Solent.
Leon Solent, and then it's back to the line with a predicted finish of the Royal Yacht Squadron line 1, predicted finish time of 16:48 for IRC 0 and IRC 1.
So they're finishing at
the Royal Yacht Squadron line 1.
Okay.
14 competitors in IRC 1 and 4 in IRC 0. These are the big boys and girls, and they're getting underway in 3 minutes' time.
One of the boats, or the two of the boats to be watching out for there, be Ran and Jean Genie, the two fast 40 pluses, and both very experienced. Well, they're all very experienced actually in that fleet, but Ran and Jean Genie have been doing the best in class 0, and McFly and Cobra have been doing the best in class 1, and all 4 of those are capable of winning in this fleet. So it looks like it could be quite close in terms of the handicap time. Of course, the ratings and boat sizes are quite different, so the boat we see cross the line first won't necessarily be the boat that actually wins the race.
Out on the committee boats, we've got the Seaview Mermaids getting underway on committee boat 3. The white group bunch out there at committee boat 3, and then committee boat 1, they'll be starting soon with the Cape 31s. But here on the squadron line, it's IRC 0 and IRC 1 with 2 minutes to go until their start. Commentary here on 87.9 FM Cows Live, and the TV pictures on the cowsweek.co.uk website, allied to our commentary and lovely drone shots as the IRC 0 and 1 boats get ready. A lot of them close to the squadron, Matt.
Yes, it's a very similar scenario to yesterday, with an easterly breeze and with the tide heading towards the west, so staying out of the tide is quite important. Being able to sail up through Cowes Roads and trying to stay as far south as you dare without losing the breeze. Stay south as far as you dare to stay out of the tide, and also potentially to get a right-hand wind shift as you go up there. But as we saw yesterday, that doesn't always work. But they're all definitely going for with them, just coming up to 1 minute. That's 1 minute there. The bulk of the fleet at the moment down by you, Simon, down by the squadron end of the line, although Gladiators just been pushing their way out. They're sort of mid-line at the moment. I'm just going to check the tide on the mark just to get a last check to see which way they're likely to be swept here. I think the tide might even be on the turn. Maybe the tide isn't. Yeah, the tide's not as big a factor as it has been earlier on in the day. 30 seconds to go until the start. Gladiator is the furthest out towards the pin end, and the battle's going on between the. I can see a couple of IC-37s close in on the line, down by your end, the northern end of the line.
And 10 seconds to go now until the joint start of IRC 0 and IRC 1. McFly closest to the squadron. They're doing very well in IRC 1. individual recall. McFly getting underway close to the squadron, the white hull, and they are leading IRC1, the J111. Who have you got with you, Matt?
We've got Gladiator, who's chosen to start out on the pin end of the line, the northernmost end of the line. And they've definitely got the extra breeze. We saw this scenario yesterday where the boats that start on the outer end of the line tend to get clear air. They look really good to start with, and that's certainly the case right now. They've accelerated off the line. The breeze is 5 knots, so nice bit of breeze here. They've actually got all the crew up on the weather, or almost all on the weather side, so that's good news. And they are accelerating away from the fleet. But the tricky thing is that when that fleet down by you that started closer to the squadron, when they start hooking in to the clean breeze, they've still got to get to the strongest breeze. They may well find, and I guess they hope, that the breeze is bent around to the right, and they'll start to get an advantage.
So that's the 4-minute preparatory signal for the next starters, IRC2, but a great sight finally after a long postponement to get these big boats in racing for the Britannia Cup away on their start.
The two boats to look for actually on your end of the line, I'd say, are the two IC 37s, the Melga's 37s, Icy and Atkinson's Ice, and Bertie Bickett's Fargo. They have both stretched out, pulled out ahead of the rest of the fleet. They're in clear air, and they got a very nice start. I see that Kumbu, the Far 40 Plus that has been doing pretty well this week, hasn't had such a great start there. I think they got themselves a little bit bound up, and we're just seeing Fargo tacking off over onto port. That's interesting. Maybe they were just getting a little bit too close to ice. I suspect that Icy and Atkins, Melga's 37, they were to leeward, and I think they were probably just squeezing Bertie Bickett and the Fargo crew up and giving them dirty air, and Bertie's had to tack off over onto port, which I don't think was, oh no, maybe it was part of the plan. Looking at Ian Atkins on ice, they've tacked over onto port, so they're looking at the fleet underneath them. So this whole bunch of boats wants to stay furthest, as far to the south as they can, to stay out of that tide that's against them. But of course the risk is they'll lose the breeze. Meanwhile, at the opposite end of the scale, Gladiator, out here at the northern end of the line, is pressing on starboard in lovely breeze, 5 to 6 knots of breeze. But there's a risk that they're going to take the long way around the course on this opening leg.
And off they go in the sunshine. It's a start at 2:10 for this joint start for two classes. McFly there doing really well in IRC 1. But the next starters will be at 2:15 for IRC2. His course confirmation for IRC2. North Ride Middle starboard, Quor Port, East Bramble starboard, Motherbank Port, Royal Yacht Squadron Port, line. The RYS line 1 finish for IRC2 is predicted at about 5 o'clock. They will be following IRC 0 and 1 with their start in 1 minute and 20. The big boats passing the Royal Navy guardship of HMS Ledbury.
Just very quick update on that one. I said Kumbu got themselves buried. They actually tacked their way out of it, and now Kumbu, the Fast 40 Plus, is in a very nice position, the southernmost boat, and are doing extremely well. They're leading the fleet of that bunch that went south.
So the 1 minute hooter for the start of IRC2. We've got more big boats starting on the squadron line here, and then it will be the J70s and SB20s with a joint start for the first white group starters here at the Royal Yacht Squadron. IRC2 leading overall, it is Yes. Yet again, they're the ones to look out for at the start with the sail number 4863. Duped is second overall, and Stiletto third in Class 2. Leon and Yes now down here by the squadron for their start. Stiletto and Incognito just behind them as they check out where the line is, and they're being told, the helm's being told, point up, point up. and they're all clear, so a good start there for Yes, and they are one of the starters closest to the squadron. Leon's had a good one. How about out with you, Matt?
Out towards us, slightly slower start out here. We've got some of the first 40s out here who have just been a little lull out at this end of the line, which hasn't really helped them accelerate away from it. I can see the boats, Leon down your end and Yes, poking their noses out. They've got that little bit more breeze down there at the moment, and Yes looking to lead that fleet. They've got a nice windward position. The danger is for Leon, they're just to leeward of Yes, and if Yes can just get a little bit further ahead, they can get dirty air all over Leon and slow them down and start to control the game. And that is actually what's happening, as Yes is starting to sneak out in front of Leon. But of course, a reminder that in this particular class, Yes leads by 3 points overall. Duped 3 points behind, but Duped, Stiletto, Leon and Incognito all on even points. So this race really matters at this stage, and they're all tightly grouped together. And I wouldn't mind betting that this is a picture we're going to see again and again through this race, with these 4 boats racing hard against each other.
So off they go, Yes and Stiletto with good starts there, 7-8, 7-7, Tilt Racing following them, but Yes with a Yes and the exclamation mark on their stern, leading IRC2, and they head off on their race. They will be followed by IRC3. After course confirmation for IRC3, we'll have the latest sailing forecast, but this is the course for IRC3. First of all, North Ride Middle starboard, Quor port, East Bramble starboard, Motherbank port, Royal Yacht Squadron port, RYS line for the finish for them, and they are predicted in at just after 5 o'clock for IRC3. So IRC2 heading off on their race. It is 2:15, or just a bit after it. Let's get the latest sailing forecast now with Fiona Campbell.
Good afternoon. Well, that sky is clearing nicely to the south, which is a good sign for our sea breeze. We've got clouds picking up over the land, that's where the air is rising, and the clouds disappearing to the south where the air is sinking. So that gives the sea breeze structure. It is light, but it is only 2:15, so things will hopefully just steadily pick up. Southeasterly, much more steady in the eastern Solent, so those boats are heading further that way for the steadier breeze. There is the caution that the southwesterly is right down in the western Solent, as it was yesterday. We're hoping that that will only slowly creep its way up the western Solent, but it is something the sailors should watch out for. But on the whole, this southeasterly sea breeze, it's around 5-6, occasionally touching 7 knots. That should hopefully pick up another few knots at least over the next hour or so. Fiona Campbell, Cows Live.
The weather brought to you by 7 Star Yacht Transport, worldwide leader in yacht transport.
Thanks very much, Fiona, for that. It's fast and furious here. We've got another start in 1 minute and 20 seconds time. It'll be IRC3, and it's Arcus leading overall in Class 3. Elaine again is second, and Joss of Hamble is third. But Arcus, the ones to look out for. See how they do on this start with the sail number 3061.
Indeed, I was just watching IRC2 there, and the battle between Leon and Yes and Stiletto really taking shape over there. All of the top boats choosing to really work that southern end of the line out towards the first mark to get out of the tide, and Leon's come out of that looking pretty good at the moment. Pretty good. We'll come back to that a little later on. I'll just dash back to the line to go and see yes, Elaine again, and oh no, beg your pardon, I'm looking at the overall results, which is on the other page, and that's, yeah, there's a bit of daylight between Arcus and Elaine again on the points, with 5 points to Arcus and Elaine again on 8.
Here we go, Mazungu, one of the leading boats in, just pointing away from the line now. Joss of Hamble right in close to the squadron with Njos here. and they're all clear, and actually Joseph Hamble and Arcus right next to one another here at the inner end of the line, followed by the green hull of Njos, but a faster start further up from 979 Malice, the Hod 35. Looks like they've had a good start, and further up the line still is occluded from me the number there, but you can probably see that bunch better than I can, Matt.
Yeah, we've got a J105 9588 out towards, is the second most extreme boat out here.
That's Jacana.
And then a J88, I think it is, 4988.
Sambriel.
Sambriel, that's right. They've managed to get their nose out. They're looking pretty good, actually. There's a little bit of wash from the ferry just to negotiate here. But Sambriel looking quite nice. They've got a bit of breeze. They're keeping the pace on through that wash. They've got the crew forward. That's good. They're stretching out. But as we've seen from the previous two classes, the thinking among the big guns is that you need to get south, and that's going to be a little tricky for anybody who's trying to get south from here, because it means tacking over onto port and trying to cross the rest of the fleet. And in fact, there's a little gust that's just come down now, and 979, which is Malice, the Hod 35, just started to accelerate there quite nicely. It seemed to be a private gust. Maybe they booked that the day before, but they've got it, and they've just started to slide out in front of their competition. They're doing very well there, and these are just a few meters at a time, but these are meters that could matter a lot later on, because if you can just put yourself ahead of the fleet, these are just the kind of conditions where you really need to be able to dictate your own tactics and not spend your day trying to tack to get clear air. And just as I say that, 7899, I'm not sure what that is actually. It's a nice tidy looking J-boat just tacking over onto port. 7899, I should know what that is. Haven't got my, where are we? 7899, wrong page. 78 Jet. That's Jet. So I'm looking out for Arcus, which is 3061. I can't see Arcus at the moment. Oh yes, I can, right in front of me. And Arcus, Arcus looks like she got a slower start than the others, unless the perspective of this is a bit weird, but they're the furthest south, or one of the, yeah, they are the furthest south on this leg, so tidally they're in the best place, and in fact they've got some breeze now. They seem to be lifted a little bit, and I think by the time they cross Malice they'll be well ahead of Malice, so actually Arcus looking quite good there. Got the crew all nicely bunched up in the middle of the boat, just to keep the stern out of the water and to keep the weight out of the ends. Looking pretty good. Looking very nice actually now. They've now got their own private breeze. Malice has tacked over onto port and will have to pass behind Arcus. So at the moment Arcus is leading. There is Joss of Hamble just to leeward of her, but I think that if Joss tacked, she'd have to go behind Arcus. So at the moment it's Arcus that is leading this class. There is a bunch of boats that chose to head out to sea a little bit further, like we have seen before, and whilst they've got breeze, I think they're just in that bit more tide that it's not really going to work out for them. If they had to tack back now, they will be behind all of the boats that are going down the breakwater, and as I say that, Arcus just points out just how much that's part of their thinking by tacking over onto port, heading back towards the small boat moorings to get out of that tide. Steady breeze though, actually, as I look further up the fleet into IRC Class 2. Steady breeze all the way up to Norris, which is good news.
Hot Rats heading towards HMS Ledbury, the minesweeper. They're going to tack now as Class 3 get underway in their race. We've got a bit of a gap now, well I say a bit, 10 minutes until the next starters. It's the Performance Cruisers Class A. In fact they're the only cruisers starting on the squadron line today. And And that is their 5-minute warning signal. They're starting at 2:30. And this is course confirmation for the Performance Cruisers A, the Pink Fleet, Goodall Roofing starboard, Peel Bank port, East Bramble starboard, Mother Bank port, Royal Yacht Squadron port line. The squadron finish line, RYS line 1 for the Performance Cruisers A, as their pink class flag flutters in the breeze here, which is a bit stronger now. And their predicted finish 5 o'clock, Matt.
Right, it's going to be another late one. Now I shall be guided by you on this, because I don't have the list of entrants for Performance Cruiser A. Do you happen to have the overall results? Who's leading, who's doing?
Yes, I've got it somewhere. I'm juggling iPads and phones and things, but no, they are here.
Whilst you're looking it up, I can tell you that Arcus is still doing nicely on starboard, but the interesting thing is the Hot Rats, which is the Beneteau First 40 that went out towards the guard ship, took that more northern route, came back on port as you described, tacked at the guard ship, came back on port, and that's a very good indication as to. I wanted to see how that was going to do, and they were very close to Arcus. I thought they were going to be much further back than that, but they've done all right. They've done pretty well. It's
Panther leading in Cruisers A. They've had 3 wins and a third. Baby X is second, and Tiaki is third.
Do you know what Panther is? Probably not. I don't think it's on the list, is it? Or even
Cruisers
what their sale number is.
Panther is a Mum 36.
Oh right, okay.
And it's GBR 6690. Can you find her?
Yeah, I will look out for that boat. I know what that looks like. That's one of the old. Yeah, I can see her now. One of the Mum 36s. That was the One Design class in the Admiral's Cup many years ago. It used to be a very popular boat. Don't see many of them now. But I can see her. She's down near you. She's probably 4 or 5 boats in from the squadron end of the line. She's got some big boats too, so this will be tricky for a boat of that size, because she's physically just a lot smaller than some of her competitors, and on a day like this you can't afford to get buried underneath a bigger cruiser, bigger yacht, but then again you don't quite have the legs or the horsepower to get out in front. So finding clear air today will be about then, or the next thought is, okay, well, we'll move further out down the line to get into clear air so we don't get rolled by a bigger boat. But the trouble is then you're in the stronger tide. So it's all going to be about compromise, and will increase the pressure on getting a clean start where they just got enough clear air to be able to pull out in front of the bigger boats in their fleet. And in fact, actually, talking of bigger boats in their fleet, just to give you an example of it, Desperado, the Swan 65, is in their, I'm pretty sure, are they in their same class? Yeah, they must be. They got the same
1665 with the pink flag. But this is my first close-up view of Eager 809. Beautiful boat.
Nicholson 55, lovely.
Desperado just pointing away from the line, pointing towards the B&G commentary boat with Matt Sheehan aboard, and it's lovely to see all shapes and sizes in this fleet as they count down with 35 seconds to go. Closest to the squadron, it's 4300, which is Baby X with modern sails, and 25 seconds to go as they inch their way towards the line. Desperado will be turning towards it soon.
14.14 is well, Baby X is lined up to make the best start of the fleet by quite a way if you're just judging it on being close to the line. I'm just coming up onto the line as well. just stick their bow down before, but that's fine. They were behind it.
They're all clear, so off they go. 14-14 is Tiaki.
Okay, they made a very nice start.
They're third overall. They've had 3 third-place finishes so far and a 5th. But it's Panther who are leading in Performance Cruisers A. The Mum 36, 66, 90.
Yeah, they were.
Her
So
sail.
Panther was a bit line shy there, I'm afraid. She was quite a few boat lengths back, and she has sort of just about got clear air. But unfortunately, I think she's going to get some dirty air later on, which is not really what they would want at this stage in the game. But it's 14-14 that has really made the best start there. They were at speed, their time into the line was really good, and they just carried on sailing the same angle, whereas Baby X was well placed on the line but had to bear away and didn't really accelerate sufficiently when they bore away, and so they lost a bit of speed there. So 14-14 did well. Having said that, actually, the Mum 36, I thought they're just now sliding past me. I thought they were going to be more badly affected by the dirty air. They are in a bit of dirty air from 14-14, but not too bad at all. And they're to windward of the giant wind block that is the Swan 65 Desperado. You really don't want to be stuck downwind of Desperado if you're a small boat.
Eager is the Bermudian sloop, 809, and off they go on their race, with the headsail flapping a little bit. They just go about stately progress towards the Eastern Solent. But it is a beautiful yacht with the pink flag at the back. That's the Pink Fleet, the Cruisers Division A, Performance Cruisers Division A. And those are the only cruisers starting on the squadron line today. We've got the HP 30s next, and so here's course confirmation for the HP 30s with 7 entered. Goodall Roofing starboard, Peel Bank port, East Bramble starboard, Mother Bank port, Royal Yacht Squadron port, line. It is the Royal Yacht Squadron line 1. Predicted finish for them is 5:30, the HP 30 fleet. 2.5 minutes to go. How quickly do you think they're going to catch up the cruisers, Matt?
Yeah, difficult to say really, but it might take them a while actually, because the breeze is steady, and looking at the heel angles of the boats as I look to the east, the breeze is nice and steady. It might even, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there's a few more knots of pressure up around Norris Castle. The Mum 36 Panther got herself into a very nice position actually, managed to clear her air really well and is going really nicely, but they're going for the northern route, which takes them into a little bit more tide. Their arch rivals have tacked over and are heading back in towards the breakwater, not as aggressively as we've seen in previous starts, but they've definitely got more breeze out here than, just look at it now, on the 6 knots now, more breeze out here than the boats have inshore, but as we've seen, it's a bit of a gamble.
Moral Compass leading overall in the HP 30s. It's very tight at the top there. Toucan is second by 1 point, and Pandemonium third in this newish class here at Cowsweek. A minute to go. This is their minute hooter. And you get a long hooter with a squadron, don't you? And the HB 30s now, lots of them here, all of them at the inner end of the line. Pandemonium, the black hull with the orange logo there on Pandemonium, getting ready for the start, leading them into the line. There's another sail just beyond her. Is that Toucan? No, it's not Toucan. It is Jester in the HB 30s.
They're all choosing to get right out of the tide, aren't they, in this HP 30 fleet? Get right down to the southern end of the line. I'm just coming back to have a little look to get myself on the line to see who gets up to go. They've only got 8 seconds to go now. Yeah, they're all grouping up onto this line. Nice bit of timing there.
Pandemonium pointing up.
Wow, that was...
Yeah, I think there is going to be an individual recall there.
Yeah.
There's the second gun there.
My guess would be Pandemonium. That was the first bow that I saw come up and emerge on the line. I think it's probably them, and they think it's probably them as well, as they dump the jib and just try and slow down and get themselves out of the pack to return to the line, to get themselves behind the line.
So Moral Compass number 5, white hull and a black sail, the class leaders so far. They've had a good start there. GBR 005 is Moral Compass. A couple of people out there on the rail. Peggy, USA 1, they've had a good start closest to the squadron, and 2801 is Toucan. Good start for them as well, as they get underway with about 4 HB30s in a line there. There's one a lot further out, Matt, 426 on their own, which is Go West Cogital.
Yeah, the action's all on this inner end of the line though, isn't it, where you say we got Moral Compass, Toucan, and the American FAR 280. Peggy, all 3 boats, all the same basic hull form. I think they might vary a little bit on handicap. Mad Compass, driven by Jerry Hill, that's his boat, ex-SB20 world champion. Got some good sailors on board his boat, and there's some very good sailors on board Toucan, because I had a little drink with them the other night and thought, right, yes, I recognise you guys. And there's among them James Granger, who's a very, very good dinghy sailor. They've just tacked over onto port. Moral Compass just tacked over onto port. They're all working their way towards the breakwater side of this course to get out of the tide. They're only allowed to go as far as the moorings. They can't go all the way in to the beach. They can only go into the moorings, and at the moment it's Peggy coming out on starboard. Now, are they going to go behind? This is Toucan. Are they going to go behind them or tack underneath them? They decide they want to go just behind them. Got to do that carefully on these boats, because they've all got fixed bowsprit, so get it wrong and it's quite easy to take the bowsprit off the front. Moral Compass also decides to go over towards the right hand side to press on, and Toucan tacks over onto starboard, and Toucan has got the upper hand now. They were able to, I think they just tacked over in a bit more breeze and probably got a little bit of a shift as well. They didn't make a particularly good tack of it, but the first time, but the second one was really nice, and they tacked over onto starboard, crossed in front of Moral Compass, and it's Toucan that leads the fleet, certainly of the bunch that have chosen to go south. But looking back across to those who went north, yeah, I don't see them coming. Well, if they tacked over now, they would be a long way behind this fleet. So at the moment, the leading pack is, the leading boat is Toucan in the HB30s.
They are away. Next up, it'll be the J109 starting at 20 to 3, 1440. Here is the course confirmation for the J109s. Goodall roofing starboard, Peel Bank port, East Bramble starboard, Northeast right middle port, Royal Yacht Squadron port, line. It is the RYS line 1 finish for the J109s. Black group finishing on this line. White group will be finishing out at Rourke. They will be racing up on the plateau. Several classes starting on the committee boat there, including the Victories, the Mermaids, the Squibs and the XODs. And other white group classes starting here at the squadron, but they're all finishing. They will all be finishing up at Rourke for white group. So a split there, and a practical decision that they wouldn't be able to get back here for a finish at Cowes comfortably or quickly. So that's what's happening with the white group. 40 seconds to go until the start of the J109s, as the red jet comes into Cowes, and it gives all of the passengers there a great view of the J109s, who are lining up with their grey and black sails. And that's the sound of the red jet making its way in. Overall in the J109s, it's Jukebox leading by 1 point over Brown Teal, and Jibe Talking is third. Jukebox the one to look out for here.
Yeah, well, interestingly, I was just going to say, and it's Jukebox that are choosing to start well out on the line. They're right alongside me. I'm 2/3 of the way along the line.
I think there's a recall coming up, is there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we can see who that was. That was very close to you, wasn't it, that one?
So at least one J109 on the wrong side there. No one coming back.
Jukebox has started pretty much all the way out, well, not all the way actually, but 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way out along the line in the clear air, which is nice. They were able to cross the line at speed, untroubled by anybody else. They're also on a lift at the moment. Haven't seen a little right-hand shift out here for a while, if at all, to be honest, this afternoon. But I don't know. I think they've got to get over towards the south. I think the rest of the fleet, which is down towards you, that is down towards the squadron end of the line, we keep seeing how that works as you go out on this leg, how the southern end gets you out of the tide, and that you're not making as many compromises to the breeze as you might imagine. And as I say that, the breeze drops for Jukebox. Risky stuff, guys, risky stuff, but I guess you've made your bed now, you've got to go out that way. But in the meantime, it's of the boats that have started on the southern end of the line, the boat that looks to have got the better start is 20, I can't quite read that number from here, 2091, Genie.
Yeah, Brown Teal got a good one. I haven't seen anybody come back, by the way. I don't think anyone has come back from the J109 start, so somebody's going to be disappointed there.
Cheeky, yeah. Okay, I thought... So 2091, yes, Genie has managed to pull their nose ahead in the breeze. Gone a little bit, having just said there was more breeze, it's just suddenly taken a bit of a dip. I don't think it's not going to stay down, it's just a little light patch, I think. But Genie leading, 8529, which is Jazzy Jellyfish, just behind on the same track, and Jedi 8088 just to leeward of Genie. Jazzy Jellyfish tacking over, heading in towards the breakwater side. Interesting. Genie pressing on starboard. Jedi decided to tack over. Interesting. It's anybody's guess how this might play out by the time they get to Norris, because the breeze has dropped a little bit. Those that have tacked over onto port have found themselves on a bit of a lift on port, which is nice, but they haven't got as much breeze as the guys that are on the left. Tricky, and they're all quite spread apart already. So
Jedi is the Irish yacht in this class, Ireland 8088 Jedi. Off they go, and it'll be IRC4 next. Here's course confirmation for IRC4, starting at 14:45. Goodall roofing starboard, Peel Bank port, East Bramble starboard, Northeast Ride Middle port, Royal Yacht Squadron port line. It's RYS line 1. Predicted finish for class 4 at 17:13 on the squadron line. Final starters here will be the Solent Sunbeams. Quite a few white group classes, 1, 2, 3, 7 I think, starting on the squadron line. So this is the 1 minute hooter. IRC 4.
You get your money's worth on the hooter,
You
don't
do,
you?
yeah. Jay Walker leading overall in IRC 4. Jackdaw is second, and Upstart is third. 97 is Jay Walker, a J97. We've also got J92s and Cork 1720s, and a J80 in this class.
Yeah, I'm just looking for Jay Walker, 97. Can't see her at the moment.
Don't need binoculars for this because they're coming in right in close to the rocks at the squadron, or some of them are, not all of them. There's a bigger fleet here. 97's got a black sail and a white jib, and it's furthest out, or one of those that are furthest out.
Behind me, you mean? Right.
And that sounds like they're all clear. So IRC4 with assorted sports boats in here is racing, and a good start for 965, I think, among the best starts there. Le Vion Rose. 9972 had a good one as well. That's Brenda's J. Which ones have you got, Matt?
Well, I'm alongside the J80, Malcolm Thorpe's King Louis, which started halfway along the line, and I can see, as you rightly pointed out, Jay Walker right out the far end of the line. It's really tricky in the middle of the line here, particularly if you're a small boat. You've got bigger boats sailing over the top of you, plus with a couple of ferries and motorboats going in and out of the Medina, it's kicked up a little bit of a wash, which has only just started to settle down. So keeping your pace through this has been really tricky. And interestingly, those at the outer end of the line weren't affected as much because they just had a little bit more breeze and more room to just keep the pace on, just to bear off a little bit, accelerate the boat, keep the pace on, and then come up. And that might have got them through the initial bit. I'm still not convinced that that's going to win out long term. I still prefer, I think, to be where the J92 9972 is, or even the the two cork 1720s actually, the one with the jet black sails, which is I think is that Premier Crew? I think it is. And also where 1733, oh no, 1733 is Premier Crew. I think I prefer to be there right now, but there is more breeze to the north.
1727 is Crescendo with red sail numbers on the black sail.
That's why I can't read them.
It is hard, yeah. 1733 is Premier Crew, been competing here at Cowsweek for many years. So off go IRC Class 4. Next starters, the final black group starters on the line here, IRC 5. Here's course confirmation for IRC 5, starting at 1450. IRC 5, North right middle starboard, yawl port, east bramble starboard, northeast right middle port, Royal Yacht Squadron port line. The squadron finish line predicted at 20 past 5 for IRC 5, and we've got another great collection of boats in here. We've got some one-offs, we've got some Corbies and a half-tonner, and a modified Hunter 707 and a Corby 29, and they're 2 minutes away from their start as IRC 4 head off, and the sun goes in here in Cowes. It gets chillier in the shadow here. That cruise liner we were talking about over near Gosport seems to have turned around, Matt, and still in the Solent, but it's moving.
No, I think it's swinging on its anchor.
Oh,
the tide's turned, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to get a good view of some racing if any boats go near them. IRC 5, it's Whooper leading overall on 9 points. Quokka's got 15. And Cool Blue has got 25. So Whooper in the overall lead of IRC 5. And they're heading into the line now. They're led in by 9327, which is just turning away. Reflection. And Hooligan near them. 2604. Second chance, the Corby 26 is pointing completely away from the line now. Cool Blue getting ready with 30 seconds to go until their start. 9327 is just on the line now. Reflection, and they're now bearing away, so they're heading a different direction to the boats coming towards them, the white sails of Reflection. Who can you see, Matt?
I've got Hooligan coming out towards the end of the line. Well, no, not towards the end of the line, halfway along the line, looking back to look at the transits with 5 seconds to go. But they are well behind the line. I'm also looking at Whooper. There we go, there goes the gun. I think, yeah, thought that was the case.
Yeah, we've got one coming back.
Yeah.
Second chance.
I think there might even be more than that, actually.
Second chance is coming back, and yeah, we've got a blue boat with a white sail coming back 2. 363, the black sail of Whooper, looks to have had a good start.
They did, yes. They were looking for clear air on that start. It's a big boat, it's a big heavy boat, and talking to Giovanni yesterday about this boat, and he was saying we just scared about stopping it really, because it takes quite a lot of going to get going again, and it's not a boat that's particularly well suited to light breeze, but they made a very, very nice start there. They may be the biggest boat in the fleet, but they're probably the heaviest. Well, no, they are the heaviest boat in the fleet, and they just kept the pace on and gave themselves enough space down to leeward to be able to bear off to keep the speed on, and then wind it up coming to the start with speed. And they've come out in really good shape. They're sort of, well, they're not middle of the line, they're a third of the way out from the squadron, so it means that they're still in contention with the southern route up this beat if they want to. But if they do want to tack over and get there, they've got to wait till the rest of the fleet gets out of their way, or take a whole bunch of transoms, which I think is pretty unlikely that they're going to do that. But having said that, I'm just looking at Giovanni, who's helming at the back, just looking over his shoulder, just looking to see what the options are for tacking back. He just keeps looking. I think he's getting nervous about getting too far out here. And 2 of his competitors, Cool Blue and someone else who I can't quite see, has tacked over. He's got one boat, that's Frank 3, which is the SJ320, sitting to windward of him. I think if they did choose to tack now, they'd clear. Yep, they've decided that it's worth going for it now. They roll into attack, and as far as you can roll a great big cruiser like Whooper, they roll into attack, got onto port. They will clear the transom of Frank 3. But the boat that's doing the best in their fleet is the red one, and the red one, I can't quite see what the number of that one is, and I've forgotten. I know it's John Corby boat, but I can't remember which one it is. It's not Quokka.
Is it Cutlass?
8818. I can
Cutlass.
Okay.
Bermudian sloop.
I think you could be right there. Another one with red numbers on a brown sail, which makes it quite difficult to read. If that's Cutlass.
Yeah, it is Cutlass, yeah.
Okay, so they've made a very nice start. They've come out of that looking pretty good. So, in fact, they've got, by the looks of it, I'd say they've got quite a healthy margin over the rest of the fleet at the moment. Frank 3 just passes behind them. Yeah, they've got a good start there, and I didn't really see where they started on the line, but they seem to stretch themselves out into a really nice position.
We have a bit of a gap now until the next start. That was the last black group start. The black group, if you're a first timer here at Cowes or watching the coverage online, the black group are the bigger boats and are often handicap classes, so all sorts of boats in various classes on a handicapping system. And then we've got actually 9 classes starting in the white group. It'll be the J70s and the SB20s starting at 3 o'clock. So we will get their warning signal, their 5-minute gun shortly, and then we can do course confirmation for them. And we've got the SB20s and the J70s actually starting together now. Matt, they've finished their
short
series
yeah.
for the first half of the week, and I assume that they're going to be running the same course here for the J70s and the SB20s, but we'll give you the course for the J70s. We've got Dragons coming out, we've got Darings, 9 white group classes starting here at the squadron in the sunshine, and just about enough breeze to get going. Cool Blue heading off in class 5, and that's the 5-minute gun with for the first starters J70s and the SB20s. Here's the course confirmation for the J70s starting at 3 o'clock. Royal London Yacht Club round to port, cutter starboard, John Fisher starboard, Rourke finish. So that is a committee boat finish at Rourke, which is going to be the same for all of the white group starters. They're not finishing here at Cowes, they have a committee boat finish which is at Rourke. And that predicted finish, Matt, for the J70s is just before 5 o'clock.
What was the second mark again? Royal London first.
London, and then cutter.
Oh yes, oh right on the other side of the Solent.
And then it's John Fisher, and then committee boat finish at Rourke. So that's 4 minutes to go until they get underway. Usually that would be the same. Yes, that's the same course for the SB20s, which of course makes sense. So they get their first joint start of the regatta. Lots more J70s than SB20s, and they're pretty easy to tell apart because the J70s have got white sails and the SB20s have got grey sails. We've also got some Dragons and Darings in the mix here, and a Sonar, but they are not taking part in this start. It's the J70s and the SB20s together. So this will be a good comparison, racing side by side to see who does best in these conditions. All sports boats, of course. J70s, as we've been hearing, one of, if not the most popular sports boat class at the moment. Lots of them here in the UK, and the SB20s here racing their regatta. Not as many as there used to be, but still great boats to race, and they've got a joint start. So in these conditions, what do you think, Matt? Would you want to be in an SB20 or a J70?
Or
both?
Well,
or neither.
Yeah, I'll have both. A J70 because at the moment they've got more boats in their fleet, and but I've sailed both, and the SB20 is a slightly more powerful boat. It's got a little bit more sail area. Well, maybe it's the same, but it's a lighter boat. It's a more powerful boat. And so in these conditions, the SB20 is still a really nice boat to sail, good fun. The J70, love it, but it's a little bit underpowered in these kind of conditions. It's a bit, little bit lacking in gas. Interestingly, the tide has now turned in here, which is why the fleet are staying well back from the line, because the tide has turned, and they're all heading downwind to make sure that they don't get swept over the line. It's going to be very costly if you get yourself OCS, as they say. So you don't want to do that. They've got 1 minute and 28 seconds to go, and they're all, well, no, not all of them, but the bulk of them are choosing to start down at your end, in by the squadron. Tide, it's pretty deep down there, so the tide does actually run pretty fast until you get right into the beach.
So we'll get the hooter for 1 minute to go in this joint start, and some Dragons and Darings and Sonars observing the start here. I'm sure there are Anetchels too, and Red Wings too, but they're well clear of the line as in head the J70s and the SB20s. SB20 is actually the leading bunch further out down the line towards where Matt is in the B&G commentary boat, 3807, just going around, which is Sail Navy. It's the J70s closer to the squadron leading in, 1591 with the jib flapping on that Dads and Lads boat, and 1206 jib flapping on Offbeat. They are leading in. 735 as well. In the leading pack of J70s is Aurora. Final countdown now from the race officers. 1591 bears away, dads and lads. Let's see how this goes. A big pack here at the squadron, and all clear, says the race officer, and they are off. So a good fast start here in at Cowes for Cosmic in the J70s, and 264, which is Jellyfish. Further up the line, 735 has had a good start, Aurora, and 1452 looks good as well, Matt. That's Calypso.
Yeah, 1452 got the best start out of that fleet, simply by virtue of the fact that they were going at pace on the line. There was quite a few boats that were on the line as the gun went, which was good stuff, but they were going significantly quicker than the others. It's still close between them, but 1452 got clear air, got more pace, just starting to edge out in front. Just to windward of them is 1206, that is just struggling to protect their position over the boat to weather. They were looking quite good, but because they've been worried about maintaining their air, they've actually slowed down a little bit. The other boat that's done quite well out of this is 1591. They were just a bit too close to the line at the start and had to do an aggressive bear away to stop themselves being pushed over the line, which actually slowed them down a fair bit. But they've gathered that speed back up. They've got their crew all as far forward as they possibly can into the middle of the boat.
That's dads and lads. Do they have dads and lads on board?
I guess they must do. But they certainly know how to keep this boat going in the light, that's for sure. There's some nasty chop from the red jet that went out that they had to get through, and 1452 seemed to stop in it. Dads and lads just put the bow down just a little bit, just to accelerate, and just timed it beautifully and just sailed through that wash, kept the boat going, barely slowed down at all. But great though it is, there's a bit of the group that have gone to the south are sort of ganging up on them a bit and have actually scooting down that breakwater side of the course and looking really quite good. Unfortunately, there's a left-hand shift out here on the northern side of this course, and that's not helping lads and dads. It means that they have to bear away. They could really do with being on the other tack, but to do so now would commit them to getting back into the pack that they would spend so much time trying to get free of. Calypso, meanwhile, still making a nice job of it there in clear air. Have pulled out 2, maybe even 3 boat lengths on the 2 boats that were closest to them, 1206 and 735, that have got themselves locked in a little private battle, which isn't helping either of them at the moment. They're just going a little bit too slow. They're both squeezing up and slowing down, and that's allowing the front runners to pull away and the pack behind to catch up.
We've got AP displayed.
I'm not looking, I'm not listening. I have my fingers in my ear to that kind of sound.
Yeah, postponement, another postponement here. And an honourable mention quickly for the only 2 SB20s I can see racing. It's Sports Boat World and Sail Navy. They're racing, and appropriately Sail Navy heading straight for the, or beyond the Royal Navy ship outing Cowes Roads. But I'm afraid that is a postponement to the starters here on the squadron line.
Frustrating for them. Interesting that we've just seen the first of the boats tacking over onto port, which gives us the first indication of the order of this fleet. And it looks like the smart money is with 741 and 264 are actually the boats that have come out of this pretty well.
It's Cosmic and Jellyfish.
Cosmic and Jellyfish, right. Well, which one would I fancy as being in the lead? I think it's probably 264 that has got the upper hand there, but it'll be close. If 741 tacked over now, as they're just about to do, so we only have to wait a minute or so to find out who's in the lead. Great shame back there for the, I guess the breeze has just dropped a bit back there, has it, I guess?
Yeah,
back with
there's not a lot of sailing going on. Well, they're not moving.
That's a shame, because there's 6 knots true here, and it's still, actually it's cranked around a little bit now. It's now coming from 085, so that's 10 degrees to the left of where it's been for most of the afternoon so far. And as far as the leaders are concerned, okay, so it wasn't the boat that was in the lead was the one that I first picked before I changed my mind. 264 is currently looking like she's in second at the moment, and I can't remember the other one I mentioned. It was something in Jellyfish with the two.
Jellyfish is 264 and Cosmic is 741.
So it's Cosmic that was looked like she's leading, but crikey, the picture's changing pretty quickly. 1206 has tacked over and is in more breeze, so Cosmic has now run out of breeze by tacking to go south, and 1206 still got breeze, tacked over, heading that way. Yeah, they've just they've just seen what's happened to the guys who've gone further south and said, no, I don't want any of that, thank you very much, we've got breeze here, let's keep going. And meanwhile, 1452, that I thought had taken a bit of a gamble pressing out to the south, actually has actually tacked back over onto port and is heading back in with the breeze, and could well have come out of this quite well.
Calypso is 1452.
Yes, Calypso, big one. So Calypso went back onto port to get themselves back with the fleet and just try and stay in touch, and took a look at the light patch over towards the Shrape, which is the shallow area just to the east of Norris, and took a look at it, went there for a bit and thought, ooh, too risky, let's stay with the breeze. Good decision, I'd say. 5 knots of breeze, just dropped a knot from where it was before. Meanwhile, 1591 also coming back in on port to just get themselves back in touch with the fleet so they don't get hung out to dry if things do change. Tack over onto starboard. Yeah, there's a split developing already in this fleet with, at the moment rather I should say, with those that are just working the breeze. They're looking at the shifts, but they're actually looking more at the strength of the breeze now and thinking, okay, we might end up going the long way round, but at the moment, with a hint of the breeze just dropping off a bit, it's safer to stay with the breeze rather than get too smart and work the shifts.
Dads and Lads is 1591. But back here at the squadron, they're just working hard to stay still, Matt. We've got some Darings sailing away from the line at the moment, or trying to. But not a lot of breeze to fill their sails. We've got Dragons out here. We've got one Red Wing and some sonars as well. But the Red Wings, there are Red Wings coming off their moorings, or trying to. Perhaps they're not bothering at the moment because we have this postponement. I can see some Solent Sunbeams on their moorings hoisting their sails. But yeah, it's pretty hard work getting to the squadron line at the moment, and the starts are postponed after just one start in White Group, the joint start for the J70s and the SB20s. We now have this postponement before the start of the Etchells, and we'll keep an eye on that. The race officers discussing what to do. We've had a long waiting game again today, and it's more waiting for these White Group classes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, still 7 starts. Still 7 starts for the White Group here on the squadron line. They won't be finishing on the squadron line. It'll be Black Group coming in to this line for their finishes. The White Group finishing out at Rourke, which is a mark on the Bramble Bank, near the Bramble Bank, sort of southwest of the post. So they'll have a committee boat finish over there. Are you staying with the J70s, Matt?
Well, I am just at the moment, just so I've got something to watch, but I'm just figuring out whether I'm supposed to be picking up our cameraman Richard to take him out to the Britannia Cup fleet, so IRC 0 and 1. So I'm just trying to figure that out at the moment. Just waiting for a response on that. Yeah, the J70 fleet. Well, the guys that went, lads and dads, and some of the others that sort of stayed further to the north, have actually done better because of that light patch that just swept down by the breakwater route. And of course, that, as we've said several times this week, that it is always a compromise. It's tricky. If you go south, then tidally there are good reasons to go south. The trouble is that you end up in a bit of a wind shadow with the breeze anywhere in the east or south, and sometimes you're lucky enough to get through without any holes in the wind, and other times you're not. And this was one of those cases of you're not, and it's meant that the J70 fleet has opened up quite a bit between those that went south and those that went north, and those that went north are generally in the lead.
Yeah, it's not improving here, I'm sorry to say. We have a postponement to the squadron's line starters here. The red and white stripy answering pennant just fluttering in the breeze, but it's very gentle. And out on the Solent, we've got some boats getting ready for starts which have been postponed. We've got one red wing, a solitary red wing, which is number 40, I think. And they have attracted the attention. This is Plover. They've attracted the attention of the one of the camera ribs, who have gone over to see them. They're sailing towards Bewley at a very stately pace at the moment. Actually, the breeze picking up a little bit where they are. Here on the line, not so much. And we've got Etchells and Daring is just appearing to stand still. But of course that is deceptive. Lots of spectators out here on the Esplanade, getting ready to see their friends and family start racing. But it's all been delayed today, and we have another delay now for these white group classes. Etchells were due to go next, and is there going to be a change? No, not yet. So I'll let you know, Matt, as soon as that changes here. It's 3:15 on day 5 of the regatta, and the last 2 days have been frustrating. But most classes got a race yesterday. Today, well, we're halfway through the schedule here at the squadron line, and it's been postponed yet again. Daring 22 is now getting the full TV treatment. Daring 22 is doublet, and these beautiful cows class competing here. They were due to have their start after the Etchells, but of course if the Etchells are postponed, everybody's postponed.
I think what's sorry, I just had to go off air a bit there, Simon, just to sort out the cameraman. Looking at it, I sort of drifted up towards Norris. What seems to have happened is the same as yesterday, with the Battle of the Sea Breezes has just swept through, because the fleets with you on the squadron line are all in a southwesterly breeze now, whereas the J70s were the last fleet to take advantage of the easterly breeze. And I'm just motoring back towards the squadron line, and there's very little wind. It really just dropped off quite dramatically. And looking to the west, there's quite a few boats sailing in quite reasonable breeze, but with breeze from the west.
Yes, we could have Spinnaker starts here on the squadron line, but they're fighting to get the right side of it right now. It is 3:15 on day 5 of the regatta, and well, it's a very good time to get the latest sailing forecast with Fiona Campbell.
Yes, well, that southwesterly has made it up to the RYS start line. It's slowly picking up. It's around 4, 5, 6 knots. There's only up to around 8 or 9, occasionally touching 10 knots in the far western Solent. It's not that strong today. We had a good 12 to 14 in the end yesterday. We're not near that yet. Need a little bit more time. However, it is building. Question for those further east is how fast will this southwesterly manage to creep into their races, or will they manage to get finished in time? Hopefully whilst they're racing they are also looking behind them to the west to see this new breeze coming through. But now the southwesterly is here, it should remain, it should become more constant and just maybe 1 or 2 knots more, although I don't think we'll be up to the 14 knots again. So southwesterly around 5, 6, maybe 8 or 9 knots later. Holding that southeasterly for now for the racing in the eastern Solent, and it's with the cloud clearing to the south, lovely and sunny ashore here in Cowes. Fiona Campbell, Cowes Live.
The weather brought to you by 7-Star Yacht Transport, worldwide leader in yacht transport.
Thanks very much, Fiona, for that. And yes, the shifty, fluky conditions here, and we've got sonars and etchels just pointing away from the line, really pointing to get away from the line. And the Darings and Dragons much further away, most of them, as they have got quite a nice breeze out there. So that is developing. It's definitely coming up, Matt. Simon Viger here at the Royal Yacht Squadron. Matt Sheehan is out on the B&G commentary rib. Are you heading into the dock?
I'm closer to you than you think.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yes, I've just come back to the squadron dock to pick up Richard, who I can see is packing up all his cameras and drones and stuff. And so our plan is to head out to the middle of the Solent to try and pick up the finish of IRC 0 and 1 for the Britannia Cup. That's our plan, if we can get out there. So once we have, we will be leaving you for a few minutes on your lonesome as we dash across the Solent. It'll be interesting to see this what happens really with this flat patch, the Battle of the Breezes, as it sweeps across. There's clearly a really nice southwesterly sea breeze, but and that's great for these guys who are going to be starting in it now, but I wonder what it's going to do to the racing as it sweeps to the east, and indeed how far it gets to the east, because yesterday we saw a very similar picture in that there was very little wind in the middle of the Solent and a really nice southwesterly sea breeze for the finish for those that were in, well, maybe not the west of the Solent, but they were to the west of the Brambles Bank.
So there is going to be a sound signal change here, and so they've delayed the starts as the wind shifts, and I'm all in favour of a spinnaker start.
Says the man on the shore.
for spectating purposes, obviously.
Yeah.
You'll get some nice drone shots of it to put on the Cowes Week website. Seeing some. Do you have the drone? You have the drone pilot with you today, do you?
I do indeed.
Oh,
well,
right.
he's been on the shore throughout these starts, and now we're popping out onto the water to get the rest of the afternoon's action.
Yeah, well, there have been live drone shots on the Cowes Week website. Here comes the signal. AP is removed. So the start for the Etchels will be at 3:25. Standby Etchels. They're sailing around now with a lot more boat speed, and they will be getting underway at 25 past. Laurence Mead, the regatta director, joins me now, and so a brief postponement there for the Etchells and the other white group classes, Laurence.
Yes, we had that big lull, and as per yesterday, the boats trying to start couldn't even hold up tide of the start line, so we did a short postponement, little AP flag. We've now got a really solid southwesterly sea breeze, and this being Cows Week, we can't change all the courses round, so it will now become a running start for those white group classes still to go. Etchells, 14:59 in front of me, really good southwesterly, and they'll have a good race. That southwesterly will push down the Solent. There'll be a transition for the boats that are already racing down there, as there was yesterday, but actually this southwesterly has come in earlier than yesterday, so it's possible it'll fill in a little stronger, and even the boats in the east will end up sailing in a half decent southwesterly.
This is Rocket Man here, 14:39, and the Etchells. This is your bunch. These are your mates, aren't they?
I'm not sure I call them my mates.
Oh, right,
but yeah.
It's your class.
This is my boat. This is the boats I sail against. Yeah, Rob Goddard. He won Cows Week a few years ago, and he's a perennial, guy fighting at the middle of the A pack, as I call the Etchells. I've got the Etchells split into all sorts of packs, A's, B's, C's, D's, but Rob's definitely one of the competitive group. Although China White, I think, is the boat to beat this week. Although I haven't actually seen the results, but I think Nick Stagg and Matt Reed and whoever their third is this week are the team to beat. But yeah, beautiful, and there's quite a lot of tide pushing them over now. So the issue for them, in a way, is holding back. Most of them are very far up tide, which is smart.
Yeah, China White leading overall at the moment. Pulse second, and Rocket Man, who we've just been talking about, a third overall. So here is, Laurence, thanks very much indeed.
My pleasure.
For that. Here is the course confirmation for the Etchells on their start at 25 minutes past 3. This is the course for the Etchells. West Ride Middle, Port, William, starboard, Contessa 32 class, starboard, line, and the line is at Rourke, R-O-R-C. The Rourke mark is where the committee boat finishes for all of the white group, and a predicted race time for them, Matt, of about 2 hours for the Etchells.
Okay. Well, we've picked up Richard, the shooter, and so we are going to head over into the middle of the Solent. We've got to go a fair way actually, over towards East Bramble, I think, is where we've got to get to. So we will leave you with the pleasures of the Etchells for the moment, whilst we put our foot to the floor for a few minutes.
Okay, well, we'll hear from you soon once you've got to your next commentary point, but of course that is the beauty of this system of 2 commentary positions. Me here at the squadron and Matt out on the B&G commentary boat. We can bring you commentary from all over the place. So here on the squadron line we still have the Etchells to start in 2 minutes time. Then we'll have the Darings and the Dragons and the Flying 15s, the Sonars, the Redwings, and the final starters here at the squadron will be the Solent Sunbeams. This squadron start line then turns into a finish line for Black Group, and the white group, the smaller boats that we're watching start at the moment, they will finish all out at Rourke for a committee boat finish for them. 1 minute and 35 until the start of the Etchells. We've got some Darings and Dragons out here, but the Etchells have got a sail drawing at the top of their sails with an E, and they are pointing away at the moment. Some of them out near Running Bear, the Royal Yacht Squadron committee vessel. Good afternoon to Running Bear, as they are patrolling the line and making sure everything's in order for our white group starters here. This is their 1 minute hooter. And China White 14:17 doing really well in this class this week. Pulse 782 second. Rocket Man third overall, and will we see spinnakers? I can see spinnaker poles being readied, but most of the Etchells are the outer limit mark, the big yellow inflatable mark, coming into the squadron on starboard. Some have got their spinnaker poles ready. It's 14-17 China White, the class leaders at the moment, leading that fleet down towards the squadron. There are a couple of Etchells with different ideas, but most of them now coming down, the spinnakers popping out. China White, and they're all clear. China White with a blue spinnaker crossing the line with just getting it filled any second now. Blue spinnaker on China White. Beyond them, it's the white spinnaker of 1459. They've had a good start. 1417 China White now fill their blue spinnaker. Number 5, a white spinnaker, has got that set now. A red spinnaker follows them. 927 is Shamal. Then a white spinnaker, can't see that sail number. 2 more, in fact they're all white after that. So only a few different colours here in the Etchells class, but off they go. And the blue spinnaker, the distinctive blue spinnaker of China White, the class leaders. 927, red spinnaker on Shamal, and 1459 just behind them. As a container ship, the Costco Japan steams into the central Solent. It's the Etchells going the other way past them, and China White appears to have some good boat speed there. They are apart from a pack of 4 or 5 who are much closer to one another. 05 has had a good start with a white spinnaker, and 1453 is that a white spinnaker. Another white spinnaker has is with them. So 927 Shamal, but much closer to the squadron, the blue spinnaker of China White, the leaders in the Etchells class. They've got their European Championships here soon, but Cowsweek, a very different regatta, and of course different sorts of courses, but great to be part of it. They are heading out past the minesweeper HMS Ledbury, which is the Royal Navy's guard ship here at the regatta. Ziggy checking out their white spinnaker, and just adjusting the spinnaker pole slightly with HMS Ledbury in the background, and they're going to move that to the other side on this Etchells. We've got a bit of a gap, ironically, given that we had that postponement there. They jibe. We've got a bit of a gap until the Darings get underway, but they will be the next starters in White Group. And Ziggy just changing the side of the mainsail and the spinnaker pole there. More Etchells going beyond HMS Ledbury now and heading towards the Portsmouth Naval Base, but they won't be going as far as that. They will be racing around the Bramble Bank and finishing at Rourke. So off they go, and in the distance we can see some spinnakers of the J70s and the SB20s, who were the first White Group boats to start before that postponement. The joint start of the J70s and the SB20s. Number 4 in the Etchells is Mano, and they're right with another Etchells there, side by side on their spinnaker run. Big deep horn from the container ship as it rounds the Bramble Bank. Of course, everybody's staying out of the way of the commercial shipping as they swing around. The Costco Japan. Mano just bobbing around, trying to get enough wind in his sail. There's 2 or 3 other Etchells nearby there, but in the distance it's the blue spinnaker of China White and the red spinnaker of Shamal. Interesting to see how that shakes out by the time they get to the end of their race. Mano now changing sides again, they've had enough of that, and they're jibing and getting the pole on the other side of the spinnaker. Now this gun we hear shortly is not a start gun, it is a 5-minute warning signal for the Darings. And this is course confirmation for the Darings here on Cows Live. Royal London Yacht Club, port, HambleWinterSeries.com, starboard, QXI International, starboard, line, and the finish line is at Rourke, R-O-R-C. It's a committee boat finish for the white group. They're not finishing here at the squadron, it's black group finishing here at the squadron line once all of these white group classes have started. So the Darings 4 minutes away from their start, and well, we have a very familiar name at the top of the order there with 4 victories so far. It is, of course, Dauntless, and they are leading with a big margin over Dynamite in second. Debutante is third, Dancer is fourth, and Streak is fifth. But Dauntless is the daring that's the one to beat. And the new one, 37 Debutante, has been doing very well this week. Closest to the line at the moment is number 15, which is Dolphin. And who's getting their spinnaker poles ready? I can't see any spinnaker poles poised or propped out, but it's still 3 minutes to go until the Darings get going. We've got Solent Sunbeams and Red Wings coming out as well. In fact, the Sunbeams will be the final starters on the squadron line, because the Mermaids, Victories, Squibs and XODs have got a committee boat start and committee boat finish. Flying 15s out here, Dragons out here, Sonars. They are waiting patiently as this breeze develops. It's switched direction and it's getting stronger, and they will be having a look at what the Darings get up to, who are all much closer to the line and just pointing away from it. Closest is 15 Dolphin. Don't think there's anybody closer than that. They're just pointing up. Further up from then is 10 and 36 Defiant and Dreamer. Dreamer just tacking. 37, the new white hull of Debutante, the new sail number. 32, just coming back down, is Destroyer, Gunship Grey. Where is number 3? White, the white hull of number 3. They're quite a long way from the line. They'll be checking out their countdown watches with 1 minute and 25 seconds to go, as the container ship swings around the big sandbank, the Bramble Bank, and heads in towards Southampton. The white ensign of the Royal Yacht Squadron flying away happily now in the breeze. It is a classic Solent picture with blue skies and big white fluffy clouds over the mainland. And that is the 1 minute hooter for the Daring class. They are next to start their class flag, flying from the flagstaff beneath the ensign. And can I see some poles coming out? Yeah, I think we're going to get a bit of that. Some exciting starts coming up here on the squadron line with under 30 seconds to go now. Just the first people to turn now. 22 and 24 are turning for the line. That's Doublet and Daring Do. Out comes the spinnaker pole on 15, which is Dolphin. And the first spinnaker to pop that I can see is number 3, Dauntless, the blue spinnaker. And they're all clear, and up go the spinnakers, and it's a good clean start for the Darings. Closest to the line is 15, Dolphin. They've been hanging around there for a while, and up goes their multi-coloured blue spinnaker, but they don't have the boat speed. And are they going to be overtaken? He got the white spinnaker of 37 Debutant, white spinnaker with a red medal on it, the familiar blue spinnaker of number 3 Dauntless. They've had a good start, followed by red 11, which is Darling. We've got the multicoloured rainbow spinnaker of number 4 Audax, 30, a green spinnaker with a white band, that is Darius, and they're followed by a red, white and blue spinnaker. Can't see their sail number. 32 blue spinnaker of Destroyer, and then a blue spinnaker with a red band is 35, is it 36 Dreamer, I think, yeah. And then it's a black spinnaker on number 5 Diamond, and then 23 red, white and blue stripy spinnaker of Streak. They've been doing very well. Then it's a turquoise spinnaker of, is it number 9 Dynamite, and I think they are the last starters. But going back to the front of the pack, 37 with the red medal on its white spinnaker, Debutant, nice start for them. Number 4 multicoloured spinnaker on Audax. But further up that leading line, it's the blue spinnaker of Dauntless, number 3 in the Darings, with another good start. Number 30, a green spinnaker with a white band, Darius. They seem to have had a good one as well. But off go the Darings on their spinnaker start, and they're going to be followed by the Dragons. Here's course confirmation for the Dragon class. West Ride Middle Port, William starboard, Contessa 32 class starboard line, and the finish line for White Group is at Rourke, R-O-R-C, Rourke is the committee boat finish for the Dragon class. They're starting at 20 to 4 and predicted finish at 5:45. So a good breeze, it's shifted round, a good breeze here for the final White Group starters. Simon Weiger here at the squadron with those starts, and on the B&G commentary rib, Matt Sheehan. Where have you got to, Matt?
We are out by East Bramble on the north side of the Solent, in the thick of it here, with everybody going windward-leeward all around us, which is rather good. Nice breeze out here. We got 6-7 knots, occasionally puffing up to 8.5-9 knots, which is quite nice, and looks fairly steady out here. And we're just watching, just trying to get my bearings on where people are. Basically it's essentially a windward-leeward style course out here, with people either going upwind or coming dead downwind, and I'm just trying to figure out who's doing what. I can see Leon in IRC class 2, I think they're in, aren't they, and Stiletto, and Stiletto's quite a long way ahead of Leon, but looking at the entry list, they need to be, because they rate a fair bit higher. So I don't know if Stiletto is far enough ahead of Leon to be beating her at the moment.
1 minute to go until the start of the Dragons, and they, like the Darings, they're all being very well behaved, staying well clear of the line. Blue Bottle leading overall. They had actually a 4th place yesterday, but they still lead overall by 5 points over Jerboa, with Bertie in 3rd. Dragons now coming in for their starts. Some of them still with the jib furled. Spinnaker poles ready. And we've got turquoise spinnaker already out on 7 line 1, Christiana. And blue spinnaker of Blue Bottle is just filling now. Here they come with the spinnakers popping out. 777 Furious, their spinnaker is out. And they're all clearing it. 761 who's going to lead them over. 761 is Jerboa. And they've had a really nice start there. It's a white, pink and grey spinnaker, followed by 692 turquoise, 682 turquoise spinnaker of Ecstatic with 763 Bertie, I think that is, with them. Bertie's got a white spinnaker with a red band. Just in front of them it's another turquoise one, 791 Christiana. 192 the navy blue spinnaker of Blue Bottle, the restored yacht once owned by the Duke of Edinburgh and restored in recent years. Usually on display at the Royal Yacht Britannia in Edinburgh, but racing very successfully here at Cowswick, followed by 682, which is Ecstatic. And I think they are the final ones in the Dragon class. So really nice start there for Jerboa in the Dragon class. They are closer to the island shore. Blue Bottle making up a few places now with the dark blue spinnaker as the Red Funnel ferry heads back to Southampton. So 192 distinctive navy blue hull and darker blue spinnaker there. Jerboa with the white and grey spinnaker and the pink flashes there. They've had a very good start. If somebody could just fade down the commentary boat effects for a second, that would be great. The Dragons now heading off on their start, and the next starters here will be the Flying 15s. Here's course confirmation for the Flying 15s as the Dragons head off. We'll get back and check those in a second, but Flying 15s, this is your course. Royal London Yacht Club, port, HambleWinterSeries.com, starboard, QXI International, starboard, line, and the line is at Rorke. The finish line, there's a committee vessel finish at Rorke for the Flying 15s and everybody else in white group. So the Dragons continue away. Lovely start there for Jerboa. Further up the line we've got 3 turquoise spinnakers, but Blue Bottle and 763, the white spinnaker with the red band, is Bertie. They are going a slightly different course to the others. They've decided to stay further out. So the Dragons are away and the Flying 15s are 2 minutes away from their start. Where are you heading off to now, Matt?
Yeah, well, we are just alongside East Bramble Buoy, and just because a lot of the fleets are rounding this and then heading back upwind again. In the HP 30 class, it looks like Toucan is leading in that class, and in fact quite a long way ahead of Moral Compass. So they've managed to pull ahead there. The other thing that's interesting in IRC Class 2, where we've got an interesting struggle between Leon, Yes, Stiletto and Incognito. Stiletto are leading on the water, but I'm not sure if that's enough for them to lead on handicap. But the interesting thing is that Leon is quite a long way ahead of Adam Gosling's Yes, and it needs to be the other way around, because if Adam Gosling wants to win, because Yes rates higher than Leon, and so they need to be in front of them on the water, and they're not. They're actually quite a long way behind there.
So
probably two or three minutes behind as they come into East Bramble.
50 seconds to go till the start of the Flying 15s. Men Behaving Badly leading overall by 2 points over 4 wins in the Flying 15 class, and Flip Flop is third. Flying 15s all hanging around at the outer end of the line, jibs furled on some of them, and they are getting ready for their spinnaker start following the Dragons. Big bunch of Flying 15s taking part in Cows Week this year. 15 seconds, says the race officer. Any spinnakers going up? They're going to start pulling them soon. We've got spinnaker poles up, and final countdown now. Here we go with the start of the Flying 15s. And they are all clear, just bearing away nearest the line. It's a red and white spinnaker on Men Behaving Badly. Great start for them. They're all on their own there. Red and white spinnaker of Men Behaving Badly with a cracking start. A white spinnaker further up. They've done well. I think that's 40.04. Is it Fox Force 5? Yeah, I don't know the name of that one. It's 40.04. Then we've got a blue spinnaker on 39.26, which is 50.50. Quite a few blue spinnakers in the Flying 15 fleet, but Men Behaving Badly with a cracking start there. Red and white spinnaker heading off towards the Royal Navy guard ship of HMS Lebury, and then there's a pack of about 10 chasing down Men Behaving Badly and trying to steal the breeze in her sails, but they're quite a long way ahead. 6 or 7 boat lengths it looks like here, and another pack of Flying 15s trying to chase her down. Lots of blue spinnakers and multicoloured spinnakers in the Flying 15 class. Got a luminous green spinnaker at the back of the pack, and they're just crossing now. 3 Flying 15s just crossing now. They've been separated from the others, but the main pack chasing down Men Behaving Badly, and they do seem to be making up some ground, but Men Behaving Badly are further out, and that chasing pack are closer in to Cows. So that's the Flying 15s. How are the IRC and IRC1 boats doing, Matt?
Yeah, the IRC fleets are looking pretty interesting. I've just seen, well, in fact, in the performance cruiser class, just seen Panther come through, the Mum 36, and she seems to be in very good shape, actually. I would say, and of course it's difficult to say because we don't know what the actual elapsed times are and the differences, but she's leading her fleet, which is interesting because she's one of the smallest boats in that class. So I think Panther's doing very well in the performance class A. In the real sort of the closest match of the lot, certainly in the IRC classes, is in IRC class 2 with Leon, Yes, Stiletto and Incognito, and Leon have rounded the mark a few minutes ago. Yes are only just going round the mark now, so that's interesting. Leon looking like they're going to at least score a win over, if they can hold this, score a win over Yes, but what we don't know is where Incognito is yet. Oh, having said that, there they go, they just come up into view. Well, that's a 40.7, so they can afford to be a fair bit behind these guys because these faster boats give them time, but so I can't tell you exactly where they lie now. I'm also alongside Zephyr, the Shipman 50 in the performance cruiser class, and so that gives you an indication of just how well the Mum 36 is doing in this fleet, because Zephyr is 15 feet long, 14 feet longer than the Mum 36, and yet they're at least 3 or 4 minutes behind them. So the Panther doing extremely well there, and we've also got the Sonata fleet coming around. We've got everybody coming around here.
Yes, the Cows Live 87.9 FM commentary, allied with the Cows TV pictures on the Cows Week website, and we're seeing drone shots from your rib at the moment, Matt, with the rounding of East Bramble. You've got sunshine there, we don't have sunshine here.
We booked it this morning. Did you not get your booking in?
No, it seems to have been lost, but you've got some big spinnakers coming up to that mark.
It's beautiful conditions out here at the moment. We've got a wind range of 7 to 10 knots, bright sunshine. The tide is just sliding to the east a little bit, about 1.5 knots, and that's helping to actually get these boats to go upwind because the tide is sluicing them into the breeze, so that's sort of accelerating the breeze a bit. Just as I'm talking there, we've got Jute, which is the J thingamy-bob, but that's also in class 2. That's one of the boats that is fighting it out, and they're not having such a good day, I'd say, at the moment, because there's 5 or 6 of them, all on, or 4 or 5 of them, all on the same points. They're one of them, and they're not doing so well today. But no, beautiful conditions. So we just slide across the bow of the Nick 55 as they head upwind. But yeah, it's holding up well here, this southeasterly sea breeze. Very nice indeed. It'll be fingers crossed that it remains for the rest of the course. Meanwhile, in the battle for the Britannia Cup, that very special trophy, we're still waiting for the big boats to come back down. Their windward mark was just off-ride. From memory, I think you told me it was Kemp's Quay, I think you said their windward mark was. And from Kemp's Quay they come down towards the finish, and Kemp's Quay is off-ride, so they're quite a long way to the east from us.
They've got, after Kemp's Quay, they've got Royal Yacht Squadron.
Royal Yacht Squadron, which I should know where that is, but oh yes, that's right. Oh good, so we're in a good position here.
And
so
then it's into the line.
Excellent, good. Well, we're going to stay around this kind of area, I suspect, because when they come back down, we'll be able to pick up where they are. When I last saw them, it looked like the TP52 Gladiator was quite a way in front. Whether she's far enough in front remains to be seen.
Well, back to your sunny pictures in a second. We've just had a gun, which was the 4-minute preparatory signal for the sonars. Here's course confirmation for the sonars, starting on the squadron line. West Ride Middle, port. John Fisher, starboard. Contessa 32 class, starboard line. And the finish line is at Rourke for all of the white group. We'll have the start of the sonars in 3 minutes time, but back to you, Matt, and the big boats continue to round East Bramble.
They do indeed, and another boat that's caught my eye is the J-boat Jukebox, and they look to be doing pretty well in their class. That's the J109 class. They got a good start, or it was a bold start, because they headed to the north, which wasn't always necessarily winning or winning out. But they do seem to be out the front of their fleet. In fact, to be honest, I can't... Oh, there we go. There's the closest competitor, is 8529 in the J109s. I can't remember which one that is. But Jukebox, by the looks of it, leading the J109 fleet quite comfortably at the moment.
Jazzy Jellyfish. And they have got a Jazzy Jellyfish on the side.
Have they? Have they? What, 8529?
8529. Yes, just tacking. They've got sunshine where they are, and a good breeze as well.
Yeah, they've got a bit of catching up to do on Yes. They've got to get themselves back in. It'd be great to be able to see, not that we can at the moment, but it'd be really good to be able to see what the corrected times are as the racing stands at the moment. But of course, that's what all the crews want to know as well. So in this kind of racing, there will, if it sounds a bit strange that we don't quite know what the order is, this is how handicap racing works. And there will be one person on board the boat, usually the navigator, whose job it is to look at where the competition is as they go around the marks and time them to then figure out whether they have done enough to be ahead of them or behind them. And that's quite a lot of people used to use, I don't know if they still do, used to use a straightforward spreadsheet of ratings and then the time difference, and you'd know how far ahead you'd need to be in order to beat someone.
Lots of spinnakers heading towards that mark, and if you want to listen to the commentary here on Cows Live and see the TV pictures, go to the Cows Week website, cowsweek.co.uk, and you'll see us all synchronised on there. Lovely sunny pictures from East Bramble, and we do have some sunshine coming back here for the start of the sonars. This will be their minute hooter. Jenny leading the class overall with 3 firsts and a second. Bertie is second in the sonar class, and ACF Dolphin is third. But Jenny and Bertie really slugging out at the start yesterday. Jenny is 737 with the blue deck. And this is their championships here at Cows Week, along with being Cows Week. It's their championships for the Sonars. And again, this class all white with white sails, staying around the outer end of the line. We have some red wings near the line, but the first spinnakers are going up, the yellow spinnakers with the black castle badge on there of the Island Sailing Club, just filling those spinnakers. And there's a white spinnaker for the Andrew Castle Foundation as well on 602, which is ACF Dolphin. And they are all clear, and leading over the line it's the pink and blue spinnaker of 849. Good start for ACF Limitless. They're followed by 614, who seem to have a bit more speed, Miscreant. And then it's 613 having a bit of bother with their spinnaker, just filling now on 613 Hibiscus. Further out, 602 have had a good start, ACF Dolphin. Where is Jenny, 737? Can't see him. But 737 will be in there somewhere. Yes, they've got a golden spinnaker, slightly different colour to the yellow spinnakers of the Island Sailing Club, but a golden spinnaker on Jenny. And away go the Sonar 614 and 849 with the best starts there, Miscreant and ACF Limitless. Okay, we will have a next start on the white group squadron line will be for the Red Wings. They are the penultimate starters. Here's course confirmation for the Bembridge Red Wings. Royal London Yacht Club, port. HambleWinterSeries.com, starboard. QXI International, starboard line, and it is the committee boat line at Rourke. All of the white group finishing at Rourke, RORC, and a predicted finish time for the Bembridge Red Wings of 5:45. The Sonars are still heading off, and it's a big fleet of Sonars. Really good start there for ACF Limitless when they went over the line. That was 849, but 699 are doing well as the Sonars get underway. That is discard. So 3 minutes to go until the start of the Red Wings, and I'm rejoined by Peter Grimaldi from the Red Wing class. Peter, good to see you again, and here come the Red Wings. It's a big fleet of Red Wings taking part here at Cowes.
Yep, according to our spotters so far, we've got a full turnout with apart from Musicus, but Musicus may be there. We haven't seen her yet. The field is very close at the front, with Quail leading, followed closely by Harlequin and Enigma. If discards were counted, which they're not being yet, then Quail would have 1-1-1 and Harlequin would have 1-2-2. So there's nothing in it for first place. As I said this morning, Quail won white group overall a couple of years ago, and Harlequin won Cows Week, with Harlequin in black group also winning, which was an amazing coincidence the year before.
And as the Red Wings get ready with 2 minutes to go, we can see on the cowsweek.co.uk coverage the big boats going around East Bramble in the sunshine there with spinnakers up. They've been racing for some time, but the Red Wings have had to wait a long time for their start at 4 o'clock here at the regatta.
They have indeed, and their cocktail party starts in 2.5 hours back in Bembridge.
Well,
so it's interesting to see whether any of them get there in time.
I don't think they're going to do that, and of course they don't have spinnakers. We won't see spinnaker starts with the Red Wings. So what's the trick to a downwind start with the Bembridge Red Wings?
Well, you haven't got to worry about whether or not to get your spinnaker out before the start. They'll just have their main lead out and their jib with its pole on, poled out, and off they go. But they don't want to be OCS.
No.
It'll be a long way to get back if they're 1 inch over.
That wouldn't be good. So the Red Wings,
they're all very shy of the line at the moment. The wind's dying.
Yeah, it is, I'm afraid.
They're not making anything against that tide.
I'm afraid it is, isn't it? And it is the green hull of number 20 closest to the line. That is Tara. And they are sort of floating down towards it at the moment. We've got 25 seconds to go until their start. It's the penultimate start on the squadron line. But they should have enough here, Peter, to get underway, shouldn't they?
Yes, I think so. I see Snow Goose just to leeward of Quail, number 20, and that is
Tara.
I think 45 with the
individual recall. So
Right,
who
that
is
would be-
that?
that would be
So
Tara.
we've
That
got a
would be
couple.
Tara.
We've got a couple here, Peter, who have yet to
oh yes, they haven't
yet to
even
cross the
come up to
line. So I think Tara's okay.
Tara's all right. Yes, it's the pink boat.
And
that's a pool boat, and number 27 Flycatcher. Yes.
So a couple of Red Wings fighting to get the right side of the start line. That's going to be quite a long fight. But leading them over, it was the green hull of number 20, Tara. I can't see the sail number of... is it 40?
It'll be 45 or 46. It's 46. It'll be Mark Downer.
Yeah, I think it's 46 is Enigma.
Yeah, Mark Downer. Not sure, he's running fourth in this series so far.
And then we've got the distinctive yellow hull of 18.
That's Harlequin with Johnny Raymond and Matthew Alexander.
And then the...
jumping at the heels of Quail with Edmund Peel and...
Yeah, Quail.
Yeah,
Quail in the middle there, and they're trying to fight for room at the front, aren't they?
They are.
So the Bembridge Red Wings are away, and Quail and Harlequin the ones to watch. Who else do you think has got a chance this year?
Well, Rosetta is doing very well, number 4, with I think James Tate sailing, young helmsman. Class Secretary Joe Robertson, number 24, the red boat. He's running well. Gosling, number 45, two Lady Helms, Rosie and Serena Gosling doing well. Rosetta is actually towards the back at the moment, it surprises me.
Yeah, they've got a bit of work to do there as they head past the guard ship, the Royal Navy guard ship HMS Ledbury. The Bembridge Red Wings are away on their race. And it's coming thick and fast here, Peter, because we've got the Solent Sunbeams coming. But thanks very much for joining us here on Cowes Live.
Nice to see you again, Simon. See you next year.
Yep, we will be back. Good to see you again. It's the Solent Sunbeams next, and their course confirmation follows here on Cowes Live. Solent Sunbeams, West Ryde Middle, Port, John Fisher, starboard, Contessa 32 class, starboard, line, and the line is at Rourke. All of the white group finishing at Rourke, a committee boat finish for the white group, and black group finishing here on the squadron line. So the Solent Sunbeams starting at 5 minutes past 4. We will get a hooter for their 1 minute warning. And I'm glad to say that Nick Leach from the Solent Sunbeam class is back with us. We had a good Sunbeam chat earlier on. It feels like 2 days ago, actually, because we've done
It's been a long afternoon.
It's been a long afternoon, which started in the morning for me. But we're still here, and we'll have all of the starts and the final start for the Solent Sunbeams. The final start for White Group will be the Solent Sunbeams. If you just come forward here a little bit, Nick, so we can see you on the Cowes Week coverage and hear you on Cowes Live 87.9 FM. So this Solent Sunbeam regatta at Cowes Week this year, who are the class pundits? Who are the ones you're looking out for?
The boat leading is number 26 Danny, and that's sailed by Roger and Jackie Wickens and Tim Martell. I think they've had 2 victories so far, sailing very fast as usual. In second place is a V62 Firefly, sailed by Stuart Reed, and she is one of the GRP boats. And in third place overall is Harmony, number 11, sailed by Patrick Green. and albeit it's a small fleet this year, it's no less competitive.
And we hope and we expect it to get bigger next year, and then for the centenary in 2 years' time, a really big fleet here. But the newer ones are the ones with the sail numbers in the 60s and 70s. Betty being a very famous name and boat here at Cowsweek.
That's right. We started building the GRP boats in 2010, and there are 3 this year at Cows.
So the spinnaker poles are ready. How tricky is this in a Solent Sunbeam?
Very much so, especially when you have the long keel broadside to the tide, like they do now, as they approach the line.
Pink spinnaker going up, and they're all clear. Yes. 62 Firefly with a good start there. Just trying to get the spinnaker under control.
It looks like Danny, number 26, is closest to the pin. A little bit late getting the kite up, but V1, the yellow one, Dainty, had a good start there at this end, further in. It's got clear air. Dainty's sailed by Peter Nicholson. He says it's something like his 54th Cows Week.
Wow.
Extraordinary.
26 there, Danny, you were talking about with the navy blue spinnaker, just going past Running Bear. 25, the red and white spinnaker on Query, and further out we've got number 11, Harmony. Then behind them 70, Minty, with appropriately with some green colours on its spinnaker.
Yes, 70 Minty is the newest GRP boat racing this week. She was built 6 years ago.
So it's 62, the pink spinnaker of Firefly leading them. Is Danny going to catch them up, do you think? Who's got the best start there?
Well, I think that the Danny has got clear air out there. She made an effort to win the pin, and I think clear air, a maximum tide out there, maximum flood tide. It's not looking bad for Danny.
Yeah, they're slightly up on Firefly, aren't they, and seem to be catching them as well. But it was a great start on the line there for the pink spinnaker of Firefly. They just popped it bang on time there.
Yes.
And a good clean start for the Sunbeams. And great to get some racing today. Okay, it's been a long delay, but good to get a race in today.
It is. It's absolutely lovely conditions, especially with Sunbeam. Sunbeam really do go well in light airs. They ghost along. Once they get going with the momentum of the heavy keel, they take a long time to stop.
And just to recap what we were saying earlier on, 2023 is the centenary year for the Solent Sunbeams, and you're expecting a big fleet here.
Yes, that's right. We've got 33 Sunbeams at Itchenor. Along with that, we've got a sister fleet in Falmouth, and we're hoping that I'm rather hoping we might have it up to 40 in 2023. And next year as well, we're making a big effort. Cows Week, 1923 was the fleet's first year. And saying earlier, it was fitting that number 1, the yellow one racing today, Dainty, won the today's race in Cows Week in 1923.
That's brilliant. Well, they've got to win one race in 2023 as well.
Yes.
At least one race.
I think yes, that would be quite appropriate.
And all of these Sunbeams are at Itchenor. If somebody lives nearby or doesn't live nearby and they want to get in touch, how do they get involved in the Sunbeam?
Well, they can look on the website and all the contact details there. What's fantastic about these boats is we race from April to October 3 times a week, and the spinnakers aren't so large that we have quite a few husband and wife teams, so no one is excluded from our fleet who wants to race because of having too much sail area up.
Those spinnakers are going either side of the guard ship there.
Ah.
We're just 26 is Danny, isn't it? They've gone the other side of HMS Ledbury, and Minty's pretty close to our side.
I think that looking further down at the Red Wings, there appears to be a bit of a hole off going down towards the Castle Point. I wonder if Danny has spotted that, trying to stay offshore.
Yeah, they seem to be a bit further out, don't they? But
Yes.
anyway, going back to what you're saying, go to the website and get it. You
Yes.
can get in contact that way.
Yes.
And it would be great, and I'm sure we will see more Solent Sunbeams over the coming couple of years. Is it usually family ownership, or are there syndicates, or how is it?
It's a mixture. Mainly family ownership, mostly, because of the ability for families to sail together. It's a good scene. It's a good social scene, and 7 months a year, it's cracking racing in relatively sheltered waters, albeit in Chichester Harbour, which means we do have a longer season as a result.
Well, Nick, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming back up here to the commentary position for Cows Live.
Thank you.
And hope to see you next year.
Yes.
And look forward to 2023 as well.
So, thank you, Simon.
Thanks. Nick Leach from the Solent Sunbeam class there. They are away. That's our last starter here on the squadron line. White Group won't be finishing here. The big boats will be finishing here, so those starts are away. And all of a sudden, Matt, it's completely empty in front of the squadron, and I know, I can see it, all the racing's happening where you are.
It is indeed. It's been very interesting out here. Gladiator, we're just alongside Gladiator at the moment. She's on Port Jibe, heading towards, she's been round, it was Royal Yacht Squadron, and she's heading back towards you guys. And hopefully we might even have some drone pictures for you. We've just got alongside her and launched the drone. Interestingly, she's got a really big lead over the next boat in her class, to the point that I can't even see them, to be honest, which is good news for them. They needed to stretch their legs out in front. They're going to need to be quite a long way in front anyway if they're going to beat their competitors, because they're the biggest boat in their class. And of course the Britannia Cup is for IRC 0 and 1, so they've got to get a long way out in front, but they seem to be at the moment. The worrying thing, or the concern for them, is that in the last 10 minutes the breeze has dropped as they've been heading to the west. I suspect they've been running into the quieter patch of breeze that has been moving to the east, and it's the transition zone. Now, what would be very interesting to know from you is, where's the breeze coming from down at the squadron? Are you still got a westerly breeze?
It seems to have died here, and the Red Wings are making slow progress to the east. The Solent Sunbeams have stayed further out, and they of course have spinnakers.
And just as I said that, it's just almost as if the man upstairs has switched the wind off.
Yeah.
Because just to windward of us, which is to the south, is most of the Cape 31 fleet that were hooning along only 10 minutes ago. People hiking out, sitting right at the back and having a great time as they screamed across with their kites up, and they've just run into a hole of nothing, and the breeze has gone forwards. They've all the only boat that still has its kite up is, well, there's two actually, Saradonics and a red one to windward. I'm not quite sure which one that one is.
Yeah, the flags here at the squadron are not flying at all. There's hardly any breeze here. There's just very gentle fluttering, but no breeze here. All of the results from day 5's racing will of course be on the Cows Week website, cowsweek.co.uk, along with fantastic video clips, including the drone, but lots of great pictures to go along with our commentary. And we will reunite with Cows TV for day 6 of the regatta tomorrow at 10.